that is Shreyas and Shreyas. So we have many ways to move to that state. Mr. Mind, are you contracted or expanded? So when you see the mind objectively, here begins the journey. But if we claim my mind is me, then the problem continues. So, Mr. Mind, are you contracted or expanded? Now see the point. You wake up in the morning, the mind says it's a bad morning, mind is contracted. Can I expand it? Mind says yes. How? By knowledge. Explore further. Absorb the mind until mind gets an insight. You see that? Pay attention. Until the mind gets insight, there is neither bad nor good morning. It is morning that is supported by the sun, air, and the existence. This is what is an insight is. Are you getting it? This is an insight. This insight is discernment. That is what we have been talking. Mr. Mind, you cannot go anywhere where you want to go. You set up me, I will set up you. That choice should be there with us. At any moment in our life. So when your mind is totally absorbed in Shreyas, it is not contracted. You will see your behavior and attitude changes. You have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to that. So that will change our lifestyle, our behavior and attitude that is born out of the attachment, that is born out of the detachment. It will change us. Contraction and expansion of the mind. We discussed last time. I start paying too much attention to prayers. I want to be attention grabber. No, you become an attention giver. Contracted mind disqualifies us to respond to a person, to a situation, to a condition in day-to-day living. And result is fear, conflict, pain, confusion. To inflict pain on yourself is the way of contracted mind. I am not ready to drop my wrong notions. Mind inside is absence of right perception, does not receive subtle and good thoughts. Mind is not ready to give up wrong notions, habits, emotions, fears, mood. It is a barren mind. Not fertile. Not available for knowledge. Not available 100% to respond to the different situations of the life and Contracted mind strips everything that is good, noble, and the kind. Think of this. The mind expresses doubt on the knowledge. What is right and good, it creates another doubt. It creates another doubt on the existence. Oh, this word, this word is totally gone. Now I'm going to commit suicide. You have already committed a mental suicide. Physical is the second. And that is what our masters say. They are the sins. That sin strips the humility, attention, right action, peace, happiness, and confidence. It, you lose your confidence. Do you remember? Now I hope you remember. You all are paying attention. Vidya dadati vinayam. Think of this. Knowledge gives me the humility. That humility is the capacity, ready. I'm kind, I'm aware, full of understanding. Knowledge gives me the humility. Ready to respond, not to react. How? Because the humility gives us the qualification: confidence, peace, calmness, creativity, focused mind. And that qualification, what is a vinayam dadati patratvam? Patratvat dhanamapnoti. That qualification leads to the inner wealth and also the outer wealth. You can add it. You can add inner and the outer wealth. And then what happens? Then the life moves on a righteous path internally, from inside to outside. There is no split personality. I mean to say, what is inside, you just come outside. And then there is only a happiness. There is only a happiness in life. Happiness in life. Take one example of understanding desire and the delusion. We lose the insight, the mind is contracted, we get upset, we have fears, conflict, and confusion. What a beauty! I'm pointing to everyone, so everyone should feel they are all beautiful. I'm not pointing to, because if I point to one, then your mind will say, no, I'm more beautiful. It does not understand. What a beauty! Mind says. That beauty is perceived by the mind. I should appreciate beauty. But what happens? The contracted mind triggers the desire by perception. You have to think it over. Now, desire is triggered by the perception, but beauty, now the beauty has become a projection in the mind. That very projection becomes the delusion. Beauty in the deluded mind disturbs my sleep, so mind says, oh, soulmate, dream girl or a dream boy. See from other point of view. I experience the beauty inside, the object is outside. Let me appreciate it. But when the mind is contracted, desire says, what the desire says? It says, see that beauty. Desire pushes the mind to fall into delusion. The moment it falls into the delusion, then I see soulmate. No, no, continue saying soulmate, but I'm not saying anything against that. Soulmate is decided in the mind by the delusion. That is the meaning of crush at first sight. Now, the mind with that delusion knows what is right and still decides otherwise. Mind is deluded, desire in the ego works strongly, and then we are disturbed. We need an insight. We need an expansion of the mind. And when the mind is expanded, everything falls apart. You are in peace and happiness. So, what is the conclusion here? I should separate desire from the delusion. Delusion. Peace and happiness is outside delusion. See that? Desire. So let me keep the desire to appreciate the beauty. The moment you separate it, the desire will drop, dissolve here and now. You need not to do any practice. And you are free from anger, hesitation, attachment, and detachment. What Stephen was saying rightly, that your fatigue and mind that is upset will drop by itself. That is what is known as the power of discernment. This is known as insight. But if I am a non-thinker, I go by attachment and detachment, the life will make you crazy. Wandering mind, distracted mind. I hope I was asking Vaibhav that everyone is able to feel the change in your behavior, in your attitude, the way you respond to the people outside might be changing. And if they are changing, then you are getting an insight. You have an expanded mind. You follow the Shreyas inside. If not, responsibility goes to you only, not to me. So now the entire journey, entire Eastern wisdom shows us the prescription that how to change this mind, drop the delusion, and do not live in fear, insecurity, do not live in the wandering state of the mind. Do you have any time do you have a thought that I will not indulge? You are talking, there is a group and you are talking. Gossip continues. Do you have a thought I will not indulge? It is not cup of. You are suffering from diabetes. You went for a dinner. Desserts are there. I will not indulge. I will redirect emotion to peace within. Think of the calm and speaking of it. Mind will repeat these crazy thoughts again and again. But can I have a group of thoughts that is directing me to calm and the joy within? I have to simply change the track. So Eastern wisdom says prescription at four levels: at the physical level, at the emotional level, at the mental level, at the intellectual level. To change your entire behavior and attitude. One thing more before we go for these four prescription level, understand that you listen to me. You are getting a knowledge. So where the knowledge is goes into inside you, it goes into the intellect. The intellect claims that I know it, but still I am not able to change. The moment the statement I am not able to change is the mind. You know it, you have a knowledge, but the mind is not able to change. So the two things you have to separate. We study, we gain the knowledge, intellect has the knowledge, but only by the prescription at the physical, mental, emotional, and intellectual level, the mind will change. Otherwise, this mind is not going to change. For the mind to change, I have to implement. You see a person and the mind says, "What a crazy guy. I will not indulge. I will not indulge." Mind, Mr. Mind, I will not indulge. The moment you indulge, you have a chain of thoughts. Do you see that? You might have experienced before. I will not. Physical level, that is what, you hold on yourself. It gives you a little discomfort. Let the discomfort continue that I will not indulge so that the mind replaces the habit. That is what we do. You go to the doctor says you have to eat this, you have not to eat this. Eat this not. You follow the prescription. Emotional. I will think about right and good, calm, peace, despite mental virus causes and forces me to react. I will hold it. I will change. I have to live consciously. That is what is living from moment to moment. That is the meaning of being mindful. More or less the same thing at the mental level. I will speak of calm, peace, happiness rather than sadness. We discussed about, are you worthy of sadness? Do you still remember? Well, you remember, but how many you still feel that I'm still worthy of sadness, fear, and insecurity? Go a little deeper. Take the emotional level and plus mental, they all are combined. I see you and I have a previous image. The mind starts creating a negative thought. And now that is the first stage in the mind. Second stage, now I'm ready to express it. That is the second stage. Two things happens. I feel bad about you. I hold it or I express it. The moment your mind thinks like this, you are in the grip of attachment. You are in the grip of the three diseases: attachment, detachment, sorrow, suffering, and delusion. And it demands practice, practice, practice. My master used to say that, oh, you have a bad thought, bad feeling, negative. It is the contraction of the mind that you have to take care. You do the practice. Come out and ask the mind, how are you? No, you still have it, repeat the practice. You still have it, repeat the practice. The time will come, this mind returns to the Shreyas. One thing I should tell you, I'm talking about the sin. If the mind has these thoughts continuing and we fail to change, the guilt comes. Anger, hesitation against anyone reaches to the guilt. For example, anger comes from the guilt. We have to be a seeker. That is what our masters are talking about. The sin in action is outside and it lives in the mind with the feeling and the thought. And that sin takes away what is right and good in my life, what is favorable circumstances, what is conducive to me. Do you still remember 4R? I talked about it. Recognize it, receive, retain, and realize. And it is possible when we start contemplating and reflecting, as the Sam was saying at the beginning of the session, your life changes completely. Desire and the delusion. Again, understand. Contraction of the mind with reference to the Shreyas and the. In delusion, we lose the capacity to observe, analyze, understand what is right and good. It is a confused state supported by fear, insecurity, duality. Mind swings like a pendulum. One side is pain, other side is pleasure, attachment. One side is attachment, other side is detachment. It drains our energy. We experience an extreme fatigue, tiredness, fear. And that is where the emotional freedom lies. One is emotional dependence. We discussed about it. Attachment and detachment is nothing but emotional dependence. Now we experience the emotional freedom. When we are capable and mindful of seeing cause and effect at the physical, mental, and the emotional level, the mind becomes free. Mind becomes totally free. See, simple example. Because desire, delusion, ego, they go together. If you do not strip delusion from the desire, I am stressed, I am depressed, I am crying, I am worried, I am fearful, I am cheated. You see this? This I am, this I am, because of the contraction of the mind, because of the prayers. Now you see, after the meditation, you see I am calm, I am calm, I am happy, I am relaxed. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? Let me repeat it again. Mr. Mind, why you say it is a bad morning? You question. Take another example. Mr. Mind, why you say that this person is crazy? I'm not concerned. You remain crazy. I have to change my mind. My focus is there. So when you explore, you will discover that you said the other person is crazy because you have some sense of attachment at the emotional level with that person. Or you don't like to be that person. And it creates chain of thoughts. Chain of thoughts leads you to attachment, detachment, sorrow, suffering. We have been understanding, it leads to emotional dependence. Why I'm stressing in these sessions? Because if the mind continues to live in these three diseases, it does not move into the Shreyas, the meditation will not be able to bring an end to the suffering. Meditation will not awaken to permanent peace and happiness. Shreyas breaks the habit, behavior, attitude. It does not allow me to act impulsively, instinctively. That will help us to move into the higher state of the consciousness. Then, at the same moment, you are not doing meditation, you have a clarity of understanding. In a given situation, you have an insight. And that very insight drops your wandering mind, drops your contracted mind, drops your fears, drops your anxiety. And you feel the sense of emotional freedom, mental calmness, and an insight, deeper insight. All the three expresses in the right behavior and attitude. That changes our life, my friends. We will talk later. That is all about today's talk. Let us go into the practice. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. Body is steady. Mind is facing within. Mind is facing within. Check that. Now you are in a Shreyas moment. Steady body is required. You see that what I prescription at the 4 levels? Now understand. Have a deeper insight. Oh, that is why we have to keep this body steady. So it does not mean that you force the body to be steady. You should be aware. What is the best position of the body? And eyes are closed. And mind facing with it. Look at this. Over these different sessions, it becomes your natural state. How easy it is for you to you see, if the mind is not contracted, that gives attention to the steadiness of the body, that gives attention, withdrawal of the senses, that gives attention, insight. I believe you might be getting it, what I'm trying to convey. So, what happens? Wherever you sit, in a group, individually, at your home, with your family, you are always ready to move to the Shreyas. Look at it. That is going to be a tremendous change. And we will keep being comfortable and carefree. We will keep it for some time. Being comfortable. Does your mind ring a tune of sensation, comfort, and steadiness with the whole body? If not, you can just casually do it. Look at the neck joint, be there, feel sensation, comfort. Now it is effortless. See, it is effortless because you have a deep insight. You don't force. You are an attention giver, not attention grabber. That is why Buddha says all mindfulness is effortless and natural. We are moving there. We are understanding and experiencing in the practice, looking at the shoulder joints, being there, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. It is deeply internally related to the expansion of the mind, Shreyas, absence of delusion, and absence of emotional dependence. For you now, it is so natural and casual. That is going to change our attitude and behavior tremendously. Looking at the entire body, being there where you know, experience sensation, comfort, steadiness, then the space inside, because the mind is facing within. If the mind is facing outside, then you have to see the world. Symbolically, the eyes are closed, means withdrawal of the senses. That needs only an awareness. We need not to force. The moment you force, you are gone. Then being carefree, what insight you have the moment I say being carefree. I'll tell you another point that is very, very important in the advancing the path journey. Carefree. I've been repeating it again and again in almost more than 50 different ways. You repeat a negative thought again and again and again and again. Ultimately, you blast against that person. We are repeating being carefree in different ways. The moment I say being carefree, it gives you an insight. I'm done with every thought, Mr. Mind, at this moment. Whatever the thought is coming and going, I'm done with you. I'm not responding, I'm not reacting. You get that insight. I told you that insight is discernment. And when the discernment is at the peak, result is dispassion. Vivek Khyati Viplava Hanopaya. Hanopaya means the method. Vivek Khyati, settling the mind in discernment is the movement in prayers, dropping out delusion. I'm using here. So let these thoughts are coming, let it come in. In the other session, Terry asked me a beautiful question. And the moment I explained, everyone became aware. Yes, this is what it is. Being carefree. We are forced by the existence to become carefree in deep sleep. Not a big deal. Now, Nyasa is a common step that everyone can practice because it's a group session. So I always see the Nyasa will definitely influence the mind. Start breathing little deep, silent, and slow. Pay attention. Did I tell you the prescription at 4 levels? Check it, whether it meets. So the breath, deep, silent, and slow breath is the car. Driver, driver is the mind. Highway, we want to go to that infinity. So we use the word space inside. Knowledge, intellect. What that knowledge is? Om Shanti. Not to get conditioned or habit, let us use the mantra Om Shanti. So start with the right arm. Move the mind from the shoulder as you inhale to the fingertips in the space inside. Singing mentally Om Shanti. And when you exhale, the mind moves from the fingertips to the shoulder. One thing more, you should not get swayed by which goes against the traditional knowledge. What is that? Never start singing any mantra like Beyonce and Ariana. Daughter was telling me she is the best singer. You see that? In the state of steadiness of the body, that becomes the physical prescription, not out of excitement. That will take you to prayers. Listen to those mantras, even. There are many groups of, very good groups of singers who sings their mantra. But we have to recite the mantra without any musical instrument, without any external resources. Then only the progress will take place. Otherwise, there is no chance. Remember, deep silence, slow breath. Mind moves with the deep silence, slow breath. Where? In the space inside. And singing Om Shanti and Om Shanti. Om is the real self, if you can keep that knowledge, and Shanti is the peace. I appreciate you all. Not everyone is capable to become a seeker because of their clinging. And some people do not get out of the delusion. Now, moving the mind on the left arm the same way. We simply change our awareness and attention. The rest is the same. I means we all giving attention to the Shreyas or expanded mind or whatever you want to say. Why? To get a deeper insight. Why to get the deeper insight? Knowledge is settled in the mind. Knowledge is realized in the mind. But why? To know my real self. But why? To absorb into meditative state. But why? To bring an end to the suffering. Bring an end to the suffering. And awakening to permanent peace. The mind is fused, and we can see that. My friends, Shanti. You're singing for yourself. Singers are singing for others. Now inside the right leg. As you inhale, the mind moves from the right side of the waist to the right, and you will discover the mind is not too much attached to the body or the right leg at this time. It wants to go deeper into the space. The intellect is there who is saying Om Shanti with understanding. It becomes so natural that you can do the same practice of nyasa during the day. Corollary. I'm giving you an idea, an understanding. Whatever the objections are, they are coming from the mind. They may be coming at due to the present state, or they may be coming from the past impressions. And a single point answer to deal with them, where you are giving attention to. Is any thought of the past is attention grabber? And what you do. Deep, silent, slow breath. Mind moves with the breath in the space, dropping. Shantoham. Now inside the left leg. This right leg, right arm, left leg, they are just for the sake of giving a direction to the mind. Logically. Why to drop that sense of getting carried away? Not much of. Yes, wait for the future sessions where I will speak minimum. Why? You know it. You're doing it. You're absorbed. It is bound to happen. Now, inside the spine, we have been repeating this for so many weeks and a month. I told you, conscious repetition with more clarity, greater clarity, insight of the same step leads us to higher awareness. Now lead the deep silence, slow breathing, move the mind inside the heart. Mind moves inside the heart, singing Om. No outer excitement is there. And you find a point of steadiness. There you drop Shanti once, and the mind is absorbed. Again, take your time, wait. In the waiting period, you are aware of the inner space. Understand another deeper step when the mind realizes peace is not a property of any object or a person. It is not subjected to birth and death, not subjected to any change, no effort to maintain. We do not think that peace reveals the real self. That is why we are doing it. Movement. Shanti. That, if the piece is your property, for example, what will happen? Everyone will chase you. So, by this step, we are releasing the delusion of the mind that claims any object or a person or a situation or a condition outside is the cause of the peace. No. So, do you see how I customize the program? What we discuss, we convert that into a practice. So, the intellect should keep in mind that knowledge, that awareness, that insight. Peace is not, can never be the property, attribute of any object in the world, any person in the world, because they are changing, subject to birth and death. Oh, yes. Then it is. Then it is pure consciousness. Let us explore. See that? Again, repeating so that the mind lives in the movement of the Shreyas. The peace is not the property, attribute of any object, person in the world outside. So mind has not to grab, not to attend anything outside. So that is the movement of the mind inside. Oh, if that is not the property, is it consciousness? Seems to be. The mind says that is enough. It's not subjected to birth and death. No change. No time and space. No effort to maintain. So from that point we say, let us explore. The mind is so much absorbed into that. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We will share our experiences, bring the mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand, lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, know your experiences, and bring the hands down. How are you, Stephen?
um, just peace and quiet. And I had moments though of thoughts that would pop into my head and just create this. It just really was just contemplation and reflection on the last 24 hours of my life. So Sam, as he started the thing talking about Shreyas and Prayas, my contemplation reflection was the moments of my acknowledgement and recognition of my movement to Prayas yesterday. And listening to what you were talking about, I had the realization that the movement to Prayas was because of other people and other situations that I allowed to happen. Okay. And it was just interesting. So I felt like this. You used the analogy of a pendulum moving from one end to the other end. I felt this was like I was absorbed in meditation, and then I was contemplating or reflecting, and then immediately back to being absorbed.
Yes. So including our honey grabs our attention. Give attention, but live into Shreyas. We are attention giver. Because if honey wants to grab attention, give total. Because now you are an attention giver, not an attention taker. Do you see the solution? Beautiful, beautiful explanation. How are you, David and Jerry?
It was very good. I had an interesting observation because Jerry and I are going to the gym regularly, and we're working on with a trainer on our strength and stuff, and our muscles as we do that, being guided, are getting stronger and stronger. And I have started using this whole thing in my daily life. So, as an example, when I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, come back to sleep, traditionally my Shreyas mind would start working away. And in the last several weeks, I've been really focused on the Shreyas mind, and I track my sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing after that, I get my deep and REM sleep for the most part. So it's been very, very helpful in my daily life. And Stephen, I like your beanie.
That's insight. That's another insight. You see that is how. Did I talk about the insight today? When you are repeating certain thing again and again consciously, that knowledge is centered and it gives you in a flash, oh, this is what is happening. That is what the insight is. And that insight is nothing but we have been talking about. It is discernment. That results into dispassion. And that changes our entire personality, attitude. Yes. How are you, Lara? Oh, sorry, Jerry. I'm sorry.
I'm good. It was. I felt during the meditation very settled and expansive. The lesson reminds me of a quote from the Bhagavad Gita where it says that action should culminate in wisdom. And I feel like as we're practicing and aware of the Shreyas mind, and we're there in that the actions are automatically right and good, right? Whether what you say or what you do. And I feel like I'm less willing to get involved in the nonsense of the mind.
Yeah. That is another good expression. I'm not ready to engage in any nonsense of the mind. So what happens? You are saving energy. You are unnecessarily not going into the conflict and reaction. You see, that mind out of the blue told me that I have to drink the water, and Lara was drinking. So you see the attention grabber. It's very subtle. It happens. Shreyas always does the mistake. But take it in a healthier way. David said, no, Jerry first. So I said, yeah. Thank you, David. How are you, Lord?
I'm good. It was quiet. It kind of like lost track of time. So the time felt like it was really long, but not in a bad way. It was just, it was like in a restful way, I guess, or a deeper way. And then I had gone like really deep at one point, and then I don't remember exactly what you said, but then all of a sudden it got really bright.
That's
kind
beautiful.
of like more light, and then but it was like the time it's kind of like not a factor, I guess, is probably the biggest thing today.
That is very important, because that's what my master used to say: the peace is not a property of any object, person, situation, condition, things, thought. The moment my mind says it is a property, then I move into the prayers. The mind attracts. No, look at it. No, soulmate, look at it. Crash at the first sight. Oh, peace will be there for once and for all. For anything and everything in life. Be busy today so that you will be free tomorrow. You will never be free tomorrow. Come. If you are not free today, Here and now, you can never be free tomorrow. So you see that why we seek that freedom? For the sake of the peace. So I impose peace as a property of something outside. Do you see that? Do you have that insight? That is the delusion. From where it has come from, the desire. No, you have already understood. So let me go to Barbara.
That was a really, really good meditation for me. And again, peace kept coming over me in like waves or pulses. And at one point, I felt almost separate from my body. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Good. Beautiful. That's a good. How are you, Christina? Is truly sitting in a meditation pose today.
Yes, I'm on my big little cushion. So I just tried to prepare myself a little better each morning with just whatever I do with joining here. And I just noticed today that I need to practice a little bit more. I've been just using some of your self-relaxation practices, and that I haven't been tuning into the body, so I need to start practicing more of the self-awareness and the re-listening, because I re-listen to these and write down notes of the lesson, but I've noticed within myself as a seeker that I should be practicing more and more, maybe twice a day.
That's good. You have been writing the notes. That's a really wonderful thing. So once you write the notes every day in the night, as David was saying, you just go back. Go to all the notes and sleep with the notes. That will help you more. How are you, Terry? Where is our Terry? Yes. Terry, we are not listening to you. Yeah, in the meantime, let's go.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Terry. Yes.
I am so dependent on others that I have to cultivate acceptance. I will not necessarily get what I need all the time.
Yes.
But I have to try to ask.
No issue. Try it again. Listen to it again and settle in peace that does not depend on anything outside. Keep that in mind. That peace is not present in any object, person, thing outside.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. How are you, Bo? And Bo, Sam, Sangeeta, wherever there. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Very turbulent today.
Very turbulent today. Yes.
Turbulent, in and out. But there was one point where I did feel some really nice peace, and there was a silence in the meditation. I believe you said Om Shanti, and after that, it whisked off. And It was quite nice.
Good point. To know that on and off may be due to what happened yesterday or some thoughts, some event, some situation caused you the disturbance. No, don't open that situation to us. Take care of that. How are you, Sam? Oh, Antoinette is also here. Yeah.
I'm really good. The meditation was great. I've been having some good contemplation and reflection on situations that have happened to me, even from the beginning of my seeker journey, where now I'm starting to say when something that other people would say is really good or really bad, I just say, okay, it is what it is. That's good. But other people are very maybe unaware of the fact that they will try to create an emotional attachment within you to a situation. So I'm thinking about my mom sometimes, where something happens and I say, oh, this happened, it's not a big deal. And she's like, oh, it's a really big deal. Good or bad? Really big deal. And I say, oh, it's not. But that you have to realize that, and in realizing that, I realized that there are a lot of people who perhaps gain a sense of personal importance by trying to attach you to their opinions of what you should believe or not. Yes. And now when a certain thing happens that some people would think are good or bad, I just say, okay,
Yes, it's a deeper insight, Sam, that this world of people, objects, and the things depends on the unconsciousness, habitual, instinctive way. The collective, the group cannot reach to the same state. So when the mom says, no, you have to go. Yes, mom, you are right. I will go. The next day you say that there is no problem. I'm okay. Because those who do not want to treat the path, we should not disturb them. That is also the movement of the Shreyas. Stephen, are you listening? So that is also, it may happen in the family, so let it happen. We remain happy. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत अच्छा था आज तो टाइम का पता भी नहीं चला बिल्कुल और बीच बीच में आपकी आवाज लग रही थी कि आ रही है
that's
बहुत सारा
beautiful that she experienced the state of the timelessness during the practice. She is wonderful. So everyone is wonderful. So how are you?
Sir, I'm good. It was very deep, and when you were saying that the piece is not dependent on any object, so I keeps myself directed that anything which is coming, it cannot give me peace, so I have to drop that and has to my mind should be blank. So it was getting very deep inside. It was very peaceful.
Yeah, including your honey, but don't tell her straight away, but internally. So what is going to happen? That peace in you is being expressed to the honey, and your honey will be more committed to you. Are David and Jerry listening also? Yes, they are listening. So how about you, Antoinette?
That was very good. I just keep observing the Shreyas and Prayas in my thoughts that do come.
Yeah.
And it was very peaceful.
Yes. Live into that state 24/7. From when you wake up in the morning until you retire to the bed. And you see that tremendous change. You're right. Any question? That is all for today.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.